Hi there. I'm known as the Duke of Fremont Street, Las Vegas treasure hunter. I've been the Duke of Fremont Street for over a decade. That's my trademark name. And I'm known as Duke, the Duke of Fremont Street. I've been collecting precious metals all my adult life. I started as a young lad, 7 years old, back in 1957, collecting pennies and went from pennies to nickels and nickels to dimes and quarters and so forth. So this is something that I've been doing all my entire life, something that I have a passion for, something that I believe in. People ask, why do you enjoy this? I think it's history, it's our culture, it's our heritage, and it represents value in our society. I've always liked precious metals, and I'm a firm believer that now is a great time to start thinking about acquiring them. As we all are sequestered in our homes, we're watching the TV and so forth. I've been watching the YouTube channel, and I've been watching a lot of the precious metal videos, and I find a lot of them very informative. Some of the experts I think are bullet on. Some of the so-called experts, I think, and I'm not going to name anybody by name, I have total disagreement with some of their points of view. I'm going to give you my point of view today based on 60 years of playing around with this stuff. I think that if you are going to get involved with precious metals, you have to decide whether it's gold, silver, platinum, palladium, etc., etc. I am a firm believer in silver. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where this is my home in Las Vegas. And Nevada is the silver state. I'm a silver advocate. My adage has always been, if you have enough money to make substantial money with gold, you already have enough money. Because you have huge amounts of investment for small increments. Silver, on the other hand, the same amount of money gets you multiple increments that are moving at a much higher percentage. Let me give you an example. Gold, let's talk about gold for a moment. Gold is something that's in our society has always been considered precious, whether our currency is backed by it or not. Currently, obviously, our money is backed by nothing. It's backed by our faith in it. I use money as a tool to acquire more gold and silver. I think ultimately our currency may be backed by gold/silver. In the meantime, the gold that you see in my hand right now perhaps belonged to the Pharaoh of Egypt. We don't know. Gold goes around and over and over and over the decades. It's never destroyed. It's refabricated. So this gold may have been mined 5,000 years ago. We don't know. Silver, on the other hand, is an industrial metal and is consumed. So gold is modified and silver is consumed. Historically, and when I mean historically, for 500 plus years, there's been a ratio of silver to gold. I'll give you a perfect example. This, incidentally, is Mexican gold, which is some of my favorite. This is a 20 peso, or pardon me, Centenario, 50 peso. This is one of the biggest gold coins you can get. 1.2057 ounces of pure gold. Okay, this is 1 ounce silver. Now, when you take 1 ounce of silver versus, let's say, 1 ounce of gold, the historic ratio is 16 of these to 1 of these, 16 to 1. Currently, our ratio is way over 100 to 1. We got up to 124 to 1. In other words, it took 124 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. So the ratio is absolutely upside down right now. Gold's a great investment. I enjoy gold. I feel that if I'm going to spend money and energy right now, I wouldn't advise the novice or the experienced investor or collector to invest in gold. I would suggest that they invest in silver. I believe in silver so much I've even minted my own coins. This is a Duke Ducat that was made a few years ago. I also have a 1/10 ounce version, and that's putting my money where my mouth is. I actually believe in this so much that I've minted my own coins. There are so many forms of precious metals. Gold, you've got the jewelry. You've got this beautiful gold pin, for example. You've got gold coins. You've got gold bullion. You've got the same with the silver. You've got the gold coins. You've got the gold bullion. You've got the gold jewelry, or pardon me, the silver jewelry, the silver coins, silver bullion. I prefer the silver for many reasons. This, for example, is 10 ounces of silver. Right now, you can get that for less than $200. If you had 10 ounces of gold, you'd be spending closer to $2,000. So, pardon me, $20,000. So, needless to say, you get more bang for your buck with the silver. The 16-to-1 ratio has been valid for, like I say, over 500 years. Now, all of a sudden, we're sitting at over 100-to-1 ratio, silver to gold, gold to silver. Either gold's terribly overpriced, which it's not, or silver is terribly underpriced, which it is. With the pandemic going on, I've been dealing in coins for, like I said, decades, and I've never had a harder time finding product. I'm a purveyor of metal and have been for many, many clients for years, and all my sources have dried up. Over the years, I've done coin shows, gun shows, antique collectible shows, and so forth. And because of those shows and that exposure, I've met some very interesting and fascinating people. Because of the precious metals, I've treasure hunted literally all over the world on 6 continents. And sometimes I come up dry, but the adventure is well worth it. Anyway, with the world that we live in today, I don't foresee any shows happening in the future. And I don't see any shops opening immediately. So your only way to acquire this is through friends, acquaintances, or mail order. If you're going to buy silver, for example, right now it's approximately $15.50 an ounce bid on the Connex World Market. I've seen people out there that are charging extremely high premiums for this at this moment. Resist buying at those numbers. Because, say, for example, if you pay a $10 premium on an American Eagle, for example, this is the same amount of gold or silver in both coins. And if you pay a $10 premium, you have to have spot move $10 just to break even. So I wouldn't recommend that at all. Be patient. Be knowledgeable. Take what I say with a grain of salt. The more education you have, the more knowledge you have, the easier it is for you to make money with the precious metals as an investment or as in a collector. While we're at it, I also am a numismatist. I've been collecting coins for 50 plus years. But we're not talking about the collectibles. We're talking about the bullion. We're talking about the actual underlying metals. Here's the forms you can get them in. This is a 10-ounce bar, for example, of silver. These are 1 ounce rounds. I even go down to 1 gram pieces. These are 1 gram pieces of silver, which have a tremendous premium on them, but they're very popular. If silver goes to 200 an ounce, these will be worth a lot of money. These are 1/10 ounce silver rounds. These are very popular also. I don't have any in front of me, but the old change, the old quarters, halves, and dimes from the 1964 older are also very popular because they contain 90% worth of silver. Anyway, so there are various forms of silver you can collect. A lot of that's going to depend on your personal point of view. One of my favorites is the old American silver dollar. These are one of the most beautiful coins I think that was ever made. This is a BU roll, Bullion uncirculated, from 1883. And the whole roll looks like it's brand new because it is brand new. These have never been spent. There's a numismatic or collectible value on top of this, but still, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I love these old silver dollars. The silver dollars actually only contain. People think, oh, that's an ounce of silver. No, a silver dollar contains a little over 3/4 of an ounce of silver, 0.77344 ounce actual silver weight. But you have the numismatic, collectible, historic value on top of it. The 90% people think 4/4 is an ounce. No, 4/4 is 0.723 ounces, but if you refine it, it's 0.715 ounces. The math gets kind of complicated. It turns a lot of people off. That's why a lot of people stick to the basics, which is the rounds and the bars. And the rounds and the bars minted today were minted because of their silver or gold content. The money of yesteryear was minted to be money, and it just happened to be in a precious metal because that's what we backed our currencies up with at that time. To make things easy, stick with the bullion product. And if you're going to buy bullion, instead of buying, I'm just suggesting, instead of buying an American Eagle, buy a generic round. A generic round is a company that's a private issue company that makes, this is 20 and 02. This has the same amount of silver as the American Eagle, 1 ounce. You're going to pay quite a bit more for the Eagle because it's a sovereign nation. Any sovereign coins, eagles, maple leafs, philharmonics, pandas, have a tremendous premium on them. When you go to sell them, there's a very good chance you'll get more money for those coins, but there's no guarantees in life. One thing I would advise you to do if you want to get involved with precious metals is know who you're dealing with. You're as good as the people you deal with. I've, over the years, learned that the hard way. I've dealt with very reputable people. I've dealt with very underhanded people, not on purpose, but things happen. You've got to keep all of this to yourself. If you're going to collect the metals, this is a confidential decision you make. So whoever you deal with, you not only trust them with that transaction, you have to trust that that information goes no further. Because you don't need people knowing your business. Anyway, back to silver. One of my favorite forms of silver is the sterling. I love the history. I love the beauty. They're works of art. I collect sterling silver. Now, sterling means 0.925. So a sterling ounce is, or an ounce of silver here is only 0.925 pure, opposed to, once again, the bullion, which is 100% pure. This happens to be my personal preference. I also I do like American Eagles. I like rounds. I like my own Duke Ducats. Like I said, you gotta love that. But that's gonna be totally up to you. People have to decide why they're doing this and in what form they're gonna do it in. Some people are investors. Some people are speculators. Some people are collectors. Some people are gamblers. Which one are you? I would say the best thing you could do is do your homework. Do your homework. Do your homework. And be advised that you're as good as the people you deal with. I personally do all transactions, as many as possible, eyeball to eyeball. I want my goods immediately. If you order online sometimes, you may have to wait weeks to get your product. Anyway, I can talk about silver and gold for days. I love this stuff. I'm easy to find. My website is thedukeoffremontstreet.com. My other website is ibuycoins.com. My phone number is 702-561-9431. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, Pacific time. I have a home office. I can go anywhere in the world, depending on the size of the deal. Anyway, I wish you the very, very best. Thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And I'll see you around my beloved Las Vegas. So long.